Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1970s.
The penis is evil.
This is episode 245, recorded July 2nd, 2025.
Gruesome Magazine.
Hello once again.
There was a whole quote there, Gregory, that you just left out.
What more do you need? What more do you need?
Yeah. I think that was the pertinent point.
I'm your host, Doc Rodden, and this podcast about horror films released between 1970 and 1979. Each week, my co-host and I will tackle another classic or not so classic film from this wondrous, groovy, gory, and influential decade. With me this week are my co-hosts, starting off with the one and only Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
Do we really have to do this movie? I'm kind of apathetic about that.
You want to?
He's
apathetic.
Right
I'm apathetic about that.
I see what he did there.
All right. I'm great. I'm actually great.
You need to be a little more glassy-eyed.
Now that I saw Sean Connery's butt, I just am doing great.
Okay.
We'll just leave that hanging there. Also joining us tonight is Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, and all-around nice guy. And, well, you've heard it here many times. Published author.
And you haven't bought the book yet? What are you waiting for? Come on.
What's the name of the book, sir, Bill?
It's called Rom. I keep forgetting not everybody is watching this on YouTube. Raum. It's the name of a demon, so don't keep saying it. Just get the book.
And where can you find said book, bro?
Well, you can find it on Amazon. You can find it at the Falstaff Books webpage, where you can also find a whole lot of other really good books, too. Not written by me, but don't hold that against them.
Do that now.
Or go to Dragon Con. I'll be there. I'll be hawking them.
Some might be written by our other contributor today.
Maybe.
Also
joining us tonight is our special guest, Gregory Crosby, who I have no notes on. So
it's okay. Just mention how devastatingly handsome I am for the people who are
devastatingly
opposed to watching it.
Yes. Was that Chardonnay in your hands?
Sure.
Yeah.
Hi, Doc.
Hello. Welcome.
Happy to be here.
Where's your costume? You seem to be a little overdressed.
Me?
Yeah.
That's his costume.
Doc, you're the one wearing a hat indoors. I have a whole slew of hats I could be wearing right now.
He's dressed as
a hat guy. You guys don't know it because I don't wear my hats in the house. But right now I have 6 separate summer Panama hats for different.
I wear mine only in the house, only for special occasions. And
he is dressed as a published poet.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. For those who didn't read the title, we're here to review Zardoz, which may explain my reference to the costume, which will be definitely something we'll talk about. But before we get to all that, I believe Jeff Mohr has a little something to say about Play Now Media.
We partner with Play Now Media, a streaming channel conglomerate. Anyway, I counted them the other day, Doc. They have over 50 channels.
50 channels. They're rocking.
Subgenres and all that stuff. Anyway, you can find Decades for the 1970s on the classic horror movie channel, the classic sci-fi movie channel, and the Wicked Horror TV channel. He just started putting 70s on the classic ones too. So I say we're officially like old now because 70s is classics. I guess.
70s are classic. It is.
Anyway, we do have a promotional code for you, so you can watch movies there without paying anything. You'll have to watch ads, and you'll miss some premium content. But if you subscribe, it's $6.99 a month or $50 for a year. And if you use the promo code supplied to us, which is DOH70, DOH all caps 70, you will get 20% off your first payment, which would be $1.40 off your first month's fee, or $10 off your first year's fee. So it would only be $40 for a year. And Daphne figured that out for us and said it was $3.34 a month. That's pretty cheap. So they got some good stuff. And
latte, as they say.
It is. It is. All right. So yeah, check them out. It's well worth it. You do have to take advantage of the discount or the promo code. You have to subscribe on their website. So go to playnowmedia.com and you have to be a first-time subscriber.
Don't they have like a channel of like nothing but Bigfoot? Isn't that one of the channels?
Cryptids.
Cryptids channel.
Yeah. I think it's now. Well, they may have both, but they do have a cryptids channel now, which I assume would include
listeners and watchers. How can
you footage? They got wrestling.
There's a zombie channel. There's a professional wrestling channel. There's westerns. That's everything. Grindhouse, found footage. Just goes on and on and on.
Yep.
Whatever your heart desires.
So
if you got something you haven't been able to find that you want to watch, go check out their sub-genre apps there and check them out. And you once you subscribe via their website, then you can download the app and watch it on any of your devices, whether you have a Fire Stick or if it's on Apple TV or whatever you're using. So.
And of course, you can watch us here on YouTube. So please like and subscribe. Before we get into our movie, Jeff likes us to say, spoiler alert for the uninitiated. We should point out that these podcast shows are best appreciated after watching the films. If you've watched Zardoz, you might as well sit through this. And our deep dives, sometimes we get into the video commentary, kind of like a video commentary track. But once we start talking about the movies, Jeff doesn't know when to shut up.
Well, that's actually Ralph that wants us to say that.
Yeah, Ralph wants us to say it. All right.
Well, in fairness, it's been 50 years, so you've had lots of opportunities. 51.
All right. Well, let's dive into Zardoz. Let's punch the card and see what happens. All right, Zardoz, 1974, written and directed by John Boorman, a very famous director. We'll talk about him shortly. The cast includes Sean Connery, Charlotte Rampling, Sara Kestelman, John Alderton, yes, Sally Ann Newton, and Niall Buggy. Production companies 20th Century Fox and George Boorman Productions. The filming location is County Wicklow in Ireland. The production dates were May 25th through August 1973. The release date was February 6, 1974. The budget was estimated at $1.57 million. And in the English domestic box office is estimated at $1.8 million or 5.5 in, was it UMR?
1.8 million in rentals. That's what it said on IMDb, and 5.5 million on Ultimate Movie Rankings would be the total box office estimate. So, and admissions in France and Spain were almost 700,000 apiece.
Somehow they made money. Synopsis is: in the late 23rd century, a savage trained only to kill finds a way into a community of bored immortals that alone preserve humanity's achievements.
That seems straightforward enough.
It does. Does the film follow that?
Close enough.
All right. Well, let's find out what we thought about this masterpiece. Who chose this?
Oh, that would be me.
Bill, we'll let you go first, Bill. When did you first see this? What was your first impression, and does it hold up?
When I went to college in 1979, this was a midnight movie. And I didn't go to see it then. I just thought the trailer was crazy. But when we went to see Rocky Horror, which I did go to see, they would show trailers for various other midnight movies. Eraserhead was one, and Zardoz was another. It looked insane. And then I read about it over the years, and it looked insane. And I saw the picture of the crazy costumes and everything. But I thought I had seen it, but I hadn't. This is actually the first opportunity I've had to see the whole thing. I've watched Zardoz in bits and pieces, but I never got to see the whole thing. So now I was able to, see if it hung together. Okay, look, this we're not talking out of school here. This movie was made at a time when the director and probably a good chunk of the cast were taking massive amounts of cocaine. It looks that way. It's a glimpse into what science fiction, highbrow science fiction, was like before Star Wars. There was a lot of lowbrow science fiction, but when they tried to do, when the studio said, let's get with it and try something, you would get something like this. This movie now that I watch it now with the fullness of time and knowing what I know about the movie business, it totally reads to me as this is a movie that gets made when the director makes a real massive hit that nobody expected, and they just throw money at him because they think, as they always do, this guy has finally cracked the secret of how to make movies that people want to see. So you shine on, you crazy diamond. You do whatever you want. And the smart directors realize they are never going to get this opportunity again. So they do some passion project, and it usually bombs horribly because, that's why it was a passion project.
Go ahead and spill what the big film was that John Boorman did.
The big film was Deliverance, which is marvelous, and we will one day do because it's a horror movie. Oh boy, more than most. Yep. And it's phenomenal. And we'll talk more about him later. Boorman is just, he's hot and cold. When he's good, he's great. When he's bad, he's great, but in a really bad way. And this movie is one of those. It's nuts. Now, I don't like to do politics because I don't think it's fair and it's usually boring and you upset half your audience. But I got to say, watching this movie now in 2025, I had this weird feeling watching it that this really felt to me like a movie that someone would make if they wanted to do a parody of 2025 politics. If someone wanted to make a movie to say, I'm gonna give it to the left, I'm gonna give it to the right, I'm gonna make the broadest possible caricatures of what these people are like. So we've got a bunch of right-wing literally gun worshiping nuts who are just trying to keep everyone down and going after the poor and downtrodden and everything. And you're like, oh, well, this guy must be a hardcore lefty. It's like, well, not so fast, because let's look at the other side of the coin. We've got a bunch of tree-hugging hippies who are insufferable, cannot get anything done, can't wait to cancel each other, actually do jazz hands. I mean, it's like, okay, now you're getting a little too on the nose there, dude. This is a little too obvious. I mean, this is clearly cut from today's headlines, but it was 51 years ago that he somehow saw into the future and realized that this is where it was going to go. It's crazy. This movie is so nuts. But I really enjoyed it. I wasn't bored at all.
Word is not a word to describe this.
But words are hard to describe. It's a film of ideas, many of which don't get the attention that it's due. But we've had a lot of movies about where religions turn out to be just out and out frauds, just a money scam to try to get people to part with their cash. We've had science fiction movies where, the God turns out to be a computer. Half the Star Trek episodes are on that premise. I think it's the only story Gene Roddenberry really knew. But this is the first one where God just turned out to be, it was just a joke. It got out of hand. It wasn't meant to go this far, but once it started, you had to go with it. I really enjoyed this. I can understand people saying this is the worst thing I've ever seen. I didn't watch it with my wife because I was pretty sure I could hear the eyes rolling next to me, no matter how far away I sat. But if you're in the right frame of mind, and there's a lot of ways you could take what I just said there, and that's your own personal preference, but in the right frame of mind, this is a really enjoyable slice of the 70s that should never be remade. Absolutely they should not even think about remaking this. There's no way modern sensibilities would fix the problems it has. And man, there's just nothing else like it. And there's got to be room in the world for films that are like that are unique. Maybe they were a mistake. Maybe you don't want to see a whole lot of movies like that, but there should be at least one like Zardoz, and there is.
All righty.
All right, Greg, you're up next. Or Gregory, when did you first catch this? What was your first impression?
I'm sure I saw this at some point on cable in the 1980s. I think I'd seen it at least once in the 30-odd years, 40, 35 years since then. And then I watched it again this afternoon. And this is not a good movie, but it is a really interesting movie. And the thing that I most appreciate, I'm actually going to disagree slightly with Bill.
That's fine.
The thing that I most appreciate about this is that you couldn't make a movie that was more 1974 than this movie. This movie is so 1974 in the way, in the art direction and the costuming and so many of the choices that Boorman makes in the script. Because lest we forget, he wrote it, produced it, and directed it, because that's what happens when Deliverance is a worldwide hit. And as Bill pointed out, 20th Century Fox throws a bunch of money at you to make your passion science fiction project. I just can't. It's impossible. Toward the end of the movie, Connery is finally in some kind of actual tunic with a genie sort of pants and his boots. And all I could think was, oh my God, why wasn't he wearing this? Why weren't all of the exterminators wearing this from the very beginning of the movie? So you did not have to watch these guys parade around in the most ridiculous possible outfits, probably in all of science fiction. And given a lot of 70s science fiction, that's a great deal. It would have been fascinating to me to see what this movie would have looked like had it been made in 1964 or 1984. So a lot of this movie for me is just that, as Bill pointed out, there's all of this really, someone should or probably already has written a whole book about 70s science fiction before Star Wars changed everything. Especially, as Bill pointed out, the highfalutin, hey, we're going to try and make something with a little more weight to it than not. Which is most 70s science fiction, let's face it.
Yeah.
Before Star Wars came and said, you don't have to do that. Just do Flash Gordon. It's all right. Relax. There's a lot of great ideas in this, a lot of really great visuals. The floating head is almost iconic. It's such a great image. There's all kinds of great, Jordan Boorman is a very talented director. It's also just there's all these great ideas, and it's just not a good script. It really feels like the script of a director who's been, do whatever you want, oh deliverer of the hit of Deliverance. It is not, it's not good, but it's really interesting. And it is absolutely, if you have any kind of affinity for 70s science fiction, you really have to, and you haven't seen this, you have to see this. Going in knowing that you're not going to see some lost gem. This is, it's not so bad it's good. It's not that kind of thing, but it is bad in the most interesting and wonderful ways. For anybody who is a fan of science fiction or just a fan of really great surreal imagery and visuals throughout it. It's one of those movies where you'll be a scene where you're like, wow, and there'll be a scene you're like, what? What are they doing? What is with the jazz hands? What is going on? It's really, really, really interesting. And I want to, and the thing that's the biggest flaw of this film is, and this is going to sound a weird thing to say, not enough Arthur Frayn, Zardoz himself, which seemed to me like a super fascinating character. We sort of get Friend as his sort of stand-in, but I really the thing about this movie, I just I want to know this guy. He's the one immortal that we know has not been wasting the last 200 years by being either bored or just going with falling in line with the utopian ideals of the tabernacle. He's actually an interesting character. Just looking at his house when Connery's character first comes into his house and is sort of who lives here, and I was like, I would like to see more. Arthur Frayn seemed to be a really, really interesting character. But I guess in keeping with the whole Wizard of Oz bit, you don't get to see him in his fullness. He is, as he says in that weird intro that I guess the studio made Boorman tack on, the puppet master for all of these things. So yeah, it's this is absolutely worth seeing. And I will disagree with Bill said. I would love to see somebody just do an insane remake of this. Really just go what would happen if we took some of these ideas? Because it's not the basic idea is not bad at all. It's a classic science fiction idea and a lot of great stuff in it. It's what would happen if we just did this, from our current science fiction sensibility? It might be very interesting. it might be boring as hell. I don't know, but it would be very interesting to sort of see some of this stuff with art direction that is not. It just it couldn't be more 70s, and it's not, and you can't blame this on it's the 70s. Everything costuming and art direction was terrible for science fiction. No, take a look at Logan's Run.
Right.
Logan's Run is really great costuming and art direction and design for a science fiction future, and it's being made around the same time as this, right? So anyway, I enjoyed it.
You did.
For reasons that have nothing to do with the actual quality of the film overall.
Well, and that's a way to experience cinema, if you ask me.
Yep.
Jeff, you're up next. When did you first see this? What was your first impression? And does it?
Oh, I did not see this at the theater, but I did see it back sometime, I think in probably the little bit later 70s. And the reason I wanted to see it was when I found out where the title comes from. And I thought, oh, well, that sounds cool. I got to go see this. And I went, what the? And I watched it again this time thinking, with my age, I will have, gained some perspective and things. No, this is still what the? I really didn't like it. The only thing that was interesting about it was trying to figure it out. And then when I read afterwards that even Boorman said, yeah, it doesn't make much sense. And several scenes are just plain pointless. I don't know what they're in there for. So, and I kept wondering, when is Connery going to get together with Charlotte Rampling? Because they seemed at odds throughout the whole film. And then suddenly, anyway, I will. I'm pretty sure I will never watch this again.
I love it.
So anyway, and you know what? I thought Connery's outfit was going to bother me, but it didn't. It kind of fit, but I can't figure out. It's just sort of the one thing I did kind of enjoy, which I was laughing my ass off, was the Apathetics.
Yeah.
They were so apathetic, they couldn't be bothered to even react to their name or someone talking to them. They're just sitting there motionless, slack-jawed, slack-muscled.
They just need a taste of Connery's sweat.
Yeah, they did.
That was it. That was it.
And then
So then I read the synopsis in Wikipedia trying to figure out what the story actually is, and that kind of made sense, but I still don't think that's what I was watching. So anyway,
you're right.
I thought the big Zardoz stone head was kind of cool, and the masks were kind of cool, and
except for the painted.
I don't know. I'll probably, you guys will remind me of other stuff I liked, but and in fact they said so Connery lived in Boorman's house while they shot this and paid him rent. His wife made him pay him rent every week.
Wow.
But they said the and I'm going to read this, although it's not a quoted source or anything, but the atmosphere away from filming, fueled by copious narcotics, was so hedonistic that the village of Gary Kennedy, where filming took place, was granted temporary access to a mobile STI clinic. And the census, which took place in 1975, revealed the population of the village grew by 15%.
Wait, so Boorman's wife made Connery pay rent?
Yeah, that's what they said. He had to.
Do you expect me to be a guest? No, Mr. Bond. I expect you to pay rent.
Well, they were paying him $200,000. They did not give him any money for board or travel.
Wow.
They got him for a song.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get away from the Bond image or something, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, this was pretty far.
That would explain him saying yes to that costume.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet he said yes before he saw the costume. And at that point, the drugs and the women had brought out.
And just a quick aside, it was supposed to be Burt Reynolds.
It was.
Can you totally see Burt Reynolds in that outfit?
Yes.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, more so than
as ridiculous as that outfit is. Somehow picturing Burt Reynolds in it makes it less ridiculous.
So they were going for the hairy look.
Well, he was the first Playgirl fold out. So
yeah, exactly. It's just that would have made perfect sense if this movie had been Burt Reynolds.
And they said they offered it to Richard Harris too, but he didn't even reply.
Yeah,
smart man.
All right. That's all I got. It's just what a crazy movie.
It is a crazy movie.
I'm sure there was a vision in there somewhere, but I got lost.
I think there was a vision in there. So I knew this movie, right? Mostly from reputation and from the cosplay at Dragon Con. When you see him walking down the street, it's a treat. Sarcasm. And but I never really took the time to watch it. I don't know if I even really had the gumption to watch it. But thankfully we chose it, or Bill did. And I think this movie is definitely a victim of the writer-director having a vision and not necessarily getting it all on screen. There's so much of the story that feels like it's still in his head, and that it makes sense to him because he knows the blanks, right? He knows the things in between the lines. And so there's a lot of films like that, and I think this one is definitely one that has the aura about it.
It's show not tell, only nobody else gets the show.
Well, I think it's like, he just forgot to do any of it. Well, not necessarily. I mean, I'm sure it, from his planning and all that stuff, it all made sense. But the problem is that
it kind of makes sense about halfway through, and then when you get to the third act, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, you lost me again.
Yeah, it unravels itself. But at the same time, it is so, like everybody's been saying, it's so bizarre and so out there and so wrong in so many places that it's not like watching a train wreck, but it kind of is. It's kind of like you're watching a beautiful mistake. It's like, well, that could have been good, but something went wrong, and it was kind of fun watching it go wrong. I really dug Sean Connery in his role. He was very, except for a couple of weird scenes, especially flashbacks where it gets a little cringy. It's a lot different than what Sean Connery had been doing. When we talked about 007 and James Bond, it was definitely not that, and not even the Disney work. So so there's that, and like you said, the whole it's so funny. The concepts are so large, right? With the exception of the floating head, everything else is still so small, right? You're talking about basically what is equivalent to a commune that's supposed to be all these immortals, but it's not like this big lavish sets or anything. It's just normal shit.
County Wicklow, Ireland.
Right. It doesn't have that grandioseness to it, which I think makes it slightly more palatable because it doesn't, it kind of. Saying that it has like some grounding to it is not the right way to say it, but it just doesn't. It doesn't. It's not so foreign, and outside of the concepts and some of the costuming and the floating head that it still feels relatable in that respect, but the story doesn't bring it. I enjoyed it, and I think I'm with Jeff. I don't know if I'll ever purposefully watch this again, just for S&Gs. We'll probably, if there ever comes a time when we need to discuss it again, maybe Bill will put it up on, at Dragon Con. You'll do a big panel about it, and we'll all have to watch it again. Otherwise, no, I think once is enough. Does it hold up today? In a strange way, and I think was it Bill? You kind of touched on this. It kind of some of the subject kind of has relevance today, and that is weird. But I don't know how much of that is me projecting onto it.
I mean, how can you not think of today when there's that scene one of the flashback scenes where it shows that these immortals, who are these purified receptacles of all of human culture and everything that's good, have just put a giant force field around themselves, and all of these desperate people are just banging on the invisible barrier of the vortex outside. All of them look like they just came from working in a coal mine in Manchester for reasons that are very hard to explain. But just the fact that it's like, oh yeah, we're so elevated and we're so great, but we're not going to help all of these. We're not going to help all of these unfortunate human beings who have not been able to do that. In fact, we're going to like keep their population down by having this ridiculous fake god give a bunch of them guns to kill the excess of this. You know, it's just sort of like it's deeply dystopian, you know, and you can't help but have that resonate now, I think.
Yeah. Those are my thoughts. I don't know what else we want to get into as far as that goes. I do believe we have something else lined up. And, and Jeff, what could we possibly want to be doing?
We do have it's now time for Taglines with Chad. The part of Chad will be played by Bill Mulligan.
Like watching a soap.
Here we go.
But I'm going to do it with a much more positive attitude. Well, I've only got 5. Poor Chad. Sometimes you see like a whole line of it, and you just see he's like, his face drops. He's like questioning every choice he's ever made. Taglines for Zardoz. Like, how are you supposed to sell this? Right? You know, you're a marketing guy. They give you this movie and they're like, come up with a way to put butts in seats. And you're like, oh, shoot me now. Beyond 1984, beyond 2001, beyond love, beyond death.
Wah, wah.
That is a lot like they're edging towards the Star Trek plot of the Enterprise travels to the end of the universe and meets God.
Yeah,
you know, it's anyway.
Yeah,
I like how that's
also a bit of a vanity project. That one.
Yeah. I do like the second one though.
Yes.
Into a world of eternal life, he brought the gift of death.
That's actually a great tagline.
That is a great tagline. You know, to combine death and gift, 2 words not often put together. That's like
accurate too. It's actually
intriguing, and it actually happens in the movie.
Yeah.
Third one, the messenger of the dead. No, different movie. When the future explodes.
No.
What?
No, that one doesn't work.
And the last one is good. It's from something that happened. It's an earlier quote. It had nothing to do with Zardoz, but it does fit. I have seen the future, and it doesn't work.
That was great.
That's a good one.
And that's exactly what they would have said at any time previous in our history if they looked at 2025.
Yep.
Well, except for the hungry people, because there's a lot less of them. But you know.
Well, true. All right.
Yep.
That's been Taglines with sorta Chad.
Chad's our hero, cool and rad. With him reading taglines, they can't be that bad.
You should have Crystal do a version for everybody who has to fill in for Chad.
Oh yeah, there you are.
She'll love that.
Well, I could just put a really bad
Obvious, yeah. Bill,
our
hero.
Yeah.
It's like Jeff says Bill, and then
Robot voice with Bill. Yeah.
Well, now that we've given you the background of the movie and we've talked about our first impressions and we've given you taglines, let's dive into the specifics of the film. We're going to get into posters and the cast and crew and some of our thoughts about the whole shebang and shenanigans. How do you like that? Johnny Shebang and Jimmy
Shenanabang.
Shenanabang. There's some posters. Tell us about these, Jeff.
Well, that Bill pulled these out, so he probably knows.
Well,
about
I mean,
them. That's like the big one,
yeah.
I think.
This is the poster I was most used to seeing. It's a giant, the face of Zardoz, which is clearly, as Gregory said, that's the thing to emphasize, because it's a great head. And there's a big human hand sticking out, and Sean Connery standing on it, and he's sort of like pointing a gun, and it's glowing. And then there's a couple of in the background. There's a couple of pictures of semi-naked hippies floating around, and so it's kind of a mess, but cool and appropriate to the film.
The poster should have just been nothing but the head of Zardoz.
The head of Zardoz.
Should've been, yeah.
Puking out guns and bullets.
Come on.
I also
like the
I do like the font.
Yeah,
Yes, Zardoz is cool. It's
Well, because it looks like a heavy metal band.
Oh, it does. You're right. That would would totally fit on every album cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the composition on this is actually terribly great.
Well, we do have other posters. From
Let's
whence
look.
they come.
And once they come, you may okay. So this is what we in the business call a Polish poster, and for reasons I've never heard explained, the Poles seem to make it at least for a time. I don't know if they're still doing this anymore, but there was a time when Polish graphic artists would take a challenge, like, how can I take a straightforward movie? What, Son of Godzilla? Okay. And then they would give you a poster that doesn't have anything to do with Godzilla's or sons or the word of. But
it's still amazing somehow.
Oh, absolutely amazing. I would be happy to have my entire house plastered with nothing but Polish movie posters.
This one's
from
actually
that era.
pretty cool.
It's a red cartoon. Sean Connery. He's wearing the head of the Brutals, but it's or the Enforcers, and it's split open so we can tell it's him. And Zardoz is glowering in the back, and there's like wings or I guess clouds floating around.
It looks like a comic book cover, honestly.
It does. It does.
Yeah, a European comic book
cover.
Yeah. No, the Polish posters are always IFC Center here in New York. If you're sitting there waiting for the movie, they will just do a slideshow of nothing but Polish posters.
Oh wow!
Of various films, and it's always just like wow, or not. Every so often there'll be one you're just like, okay, you tried.
What they should do is they should put up the poster, black out if the title is there, and let people guess what it is, and then you're like, oh, that was Taxi Driver.
Yeah. Okay. That sometimes that would be a good trivia bit. Yeah,
we've had a couple like that. Yeah. All right, then we also have German, which that is the messenger of death, both to Des Todes.
That just looks like Death Wish right there.
It does.
It does.
Death Wish, and the lady from Shanghai. We got Sean Connery in a room full of mirrors. He's pointing a gun right at you, the viewer. Come and see this movie, or I'll smack you in the mouth, in the head. And then we also have a couple little inserts of naked people floating around and him raping someone. Oh yeah, it's
there's a cringe scene.
Yep. Oh, Germany, never change.
Don't do it. He did it.
And then we have.
I like this one. This is said this is the Italian.
This is the one that's the future will explode or something. See the future explode or whatever it was.
The body language of. I'm going to say that's Zed, but it's probably not. But the whole body language.
Yeah.
One of the Brutals. Yeah.
That's a great shot. The composition of that is enough to make you want to go, well, what is this? I want to know.
Right. We have a bunch of dead hippies wearing some of the worst costumes ever. But it's
a guy in a
very
red diaper
colorful
with bandoleros.
Very colorful.
And the glass or a mirror that's showing the tree.
We got a couple of enforcers out there with their little pistols, leaving no prisoners. It's it does intrigue. What the hell's going on?
Still fascinated by the body language there. Just like, what is he doing? Why is he slumped?
He's sad because he has no one left to kill.
It wears you out.
I guess so. I don't know. There's something interesting about this piece of this photograph here.
I need to take back a little bit because I did think it was really interesting, the idea of immortals having no use for sex, and they talk about the the weird mystery of the past of sexual arousal and intercourse and eroticism and
you don't need all the creation. And if you, sex is great, but have you tried having it for 200 years? It probably gets very old.
Yeah, and but also living gets old because they welcome death. They're searching for death. So that's another.
To me, the most fascinating thing about this movie is that it's a science fiction movie that captures what many horror films have actually done many times, which is what a curse immortality is.
Yeah.
It's not fun to be a vampire. It's not fun to be a mummy. It's not fun. life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. And these folks are just, they're so bored with life. They don't want to have sex with Charlotte Rampling. I mean, and they can't even, you say, well, God, if I got to that point, I'd just put a bullet in my head, but it doesn't matter because the computer's going to bring you right back. And you're like, and you remember, I'm still bored. I still don't want to have sex with Charlotte.
And the penalty for violations is aging.
Which is also brilliant.
Even though they're going to bring you back.
Right.
It's just,
right. You could be like 95 and senile, but they'll bring you back.
Yeah.
Or really, they put you in that weird home with all the people running around.
Which, I mean, initially I was like, okay, why are the renegades all pretending they're at like a Bristol ballroom dance company?
Really, they're all extremely good.
There is a line when you get the flashback to the founders of the tabernacle, and they're like, oh, well, all these people who became renegades they were already middle-aged when they created this. And so, okay, I guess that makes sense then that their nostalgia would be for, but again, it's for, if this happens 200 years before, I guess their nostalgia would be for like mid-20th century, like whatever. But initially I was like, what? Why this choice? This is kind of movie where you just sit there and you think, why are you making this choice? It's such a weird choice to make as a filmmaker or as a scriptwriter.
And that's also a very 70s kind of thing, the youth culture and, young versus old. And of course, what's ironic is all those people who were young at that time have now grown up and will not leave the stage. So we still, seem to pick our leaders on who's the most geriatric, who's the one least likely to survive the
in
ordeal.
In my brain, I just realized there's a connection between this film and another film with Immortals, and now I want to think it's a prequel to that film.
Which film? I'm on the edge of my seat.
Which is escaping me at the moment for some stupid reason.
Was it Wild in the Streets?
No, it's
Sean Connery. Drive us crazy.
Highlander is the film I'm thinking of.
Trying to remember the movie.
So this is a prequel to Highlander.
Oh,
Highlander.
Oh, Highlander.
Except that with Highlander, as we all know, there can be only one.
I know, and Sean Connery made sure of that.
Yeah, but Highlander. Think about if I had to pick one of these curse of immortalities, Highlander would probably be the one I pick because although you have to watch everyone you like and love and your friends get old and die and everything else, at least you get a really cool sword, and there is that admitted thrill of immortal life where at any moment some crazy guy with another cool sword is going to come and try to cut your head off. So you got that. I mean, that kind of adds a little spice to what might otherwise be a dreary existence.
No, you're immortal.
Do you know what this actually feels like a prequel to, or like a first draft of? And I kept thinking about it all while I was watching it again, because again, I haven't seen this for well over 30 years. Excalibur.
Well, it is.
In
this
a way,
really feels in a lot of ways like everything that kind of Boorman didn't get quite right with this.
Yes,
in a completely different way, he kind of got right with Excalibur.
I was going to say that later on because Excalibur is one of my favorites. Yeah. It is nuts.
Yes,
but
it works in a way that this doesn't.
It does work, and probably maybe setting it in the past makes more sense than setting it in the future. And also, whatever problems this one had with set design and costumes, toss that out the window because Excalibur is scrumptious.
Much.
At least.
It's a really good example of it's not just a director. You need a great art direction. You need great costuming. You need collaborators who aren't just gonna be like, okay, whatever you say, it's what's in the script. He wants everybody to walk around and look like they're like Egyptian pharaohs with this weird headscarf thing on their heads.
Now, can I point something else out? This scene sort of shows this. Looking at the workflowy that Jeff put up, apparently the cinematographer did some very interesting things shooting this film. And one process, he has the lens open wide, lots of smoke, all kinds of things that look really, really cool when you look at a first generation copy. But apparently when they were making prints to send out to the theaters, because you don't get to see just the original copy, there was a severe degradation of being able to tell what the hell was going on. So the studio said, don't ever do that again. I don't know how they went about the problem or not, but yeah, there are sometimes looking at this where it looks cheaper. I want to say cheaper than it is, but actually I can't believe the budget was as low as it was. This is a cheap movie. This is not an expensive movie for what they were trying to do.
Well, they were going to I mean, Boorman had a hit, but it wasn't like you can do whatever you want kind of hit.
Yeah.
It was more like, okay, we'll let you
do whatever you want for $1.5 million.
But it's a science fiction film. We're not gonna pump a ton of money in 1973 into a science fiction film. That just wasn't.
That's true.
That wasn't the thing.
In line with what you were saying about Excalibur, according to this information, he made Zardoz after an early attempt to film The Lord of the Rings was canceled.
Right.
And the studios balked at the cost of the project. Yeah. And then the same thing happened to him again several years later. And then Excalibur was the result.
He only made one movie between this and Excalibur, and that was, wait for it, Exorcist 2.
Womp, womp. Yeah.
Nicely done.
Thank God he didn't make Lord of the Rings, because I love Lord of the Rings and everything else, but man, that would not have been good. No. It's like when James Cameron was going to make Spider-Man, but it was before we really had the special effects to do a good Spider-Man. Some movies, it's a good thing they happened when they did.
And of the movies, when I was looking over Boorman's filmography, of the movies that he wrote in addition to directing, the ones that were good were ones based on his own experiences and his own, like Hope and Glory and whatnot, as opposed to wavy intellectual science fiction.
Yes.
Quite so much. Yeah.
Well, there he is up the top, talking to his stars, and they all seem to be having a great time.
Great hat.
Yeah. And we have Deliverance. Awesome poster, awesome movie. Excalibur, awesome poster, awesome movie. And Exorcist 2, The Heretic.
Yes. And I have to put in a word here because, of course, Deliverance was not just a huge film hit, but it was based on a massively best-selling novel by James Dickey, and who unfortunately is only pretty much remembered for Deliverance. But he was also a really great, brilliant poet. He was mostly a poet, wrote a lot of really fantastic poetry in the 60s, and then it was completely ruined by the success of both the novel and the film. Yeah, the classic, the great thing about being a poet is you can never sell out unless you write a novel that's a huge bestseller that gets turned into a hit movie. And then that really messed with Dickey's head, and he did not write a lot. He only wrote one other novel years later after Deliverance. He really kind of derailed what it before then had just been a very solid career as a poet. So if anybody's listening to this podcast or watching this podcast and thinking, yeah, James Dickey, poetry, I want to know more, I've done my duty to my vocation by letting people know that James Dickey was not just the writer of Deliverance.
There you go.
There you
go. I didn't know that, so I learned something today.
Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot. He also did. I don't know if it's a favorite movie, but I really do like it. Neo-noir flick called Point Blank.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah, which he did not write.
Lee Marvin.
Yes.
Is
it's
a great movie.
Based on Richard Stark's novel The Hunter, which was later made into a really crappy version with Mel Gibson called Payback. Yeah. So yeah, if you ever see Payback, that's another riff on Richard Stark, whose real name was Donald Westlake, wrote a whole series of novels about Parker, who was this master criminal, which are just like some of the best crime novels you'll ever read. And the very first one was the plot for that inspired Point Blank, which is a great movie. If you've never seen Point Blank, put that in your queue. It's a really, really interesting film.
Angie Dickinson, Keenan Wynn, Carol O'Connor, John Vernon, James Sicking, Sid Haig.
Great movie. Yeah. Great movie with very, very great mid-60s vibes. Yeah, excellent film.
So Boorman's a fantastic director, but inconsistent.
Yep.
You don't know what you're going to get till you get it.
Yep.
There's something kind of special about that.
Yeah. But the good is so good, it's worth taking a chance.
Yeah.
You don't know what you get till you got or something. All right.
Did you guys do Exorcist 2, The Heretic?
Yes.
Yep.
You did. I remember. I vaguely remember that being something that was covered.
It's another one where the script is just like, Where was the editor when it's like, here this line, Kokumu can help me find Pazuzu. Okay, listen. Yeah, that's a bad line. People are going to make fun of us for this.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah, most of his subsequent movies, though, are fairly highly rated. I mean, after Excalibur, you've got The Emerald Forest, Hope and Glory.
Yep.
Hope and Glory is excellent.
Beyond Rangoon is actually
General.
a good film. I think I saw Beyond Rangoon in the theater. I remember being pretty impressed by it.
I'm sort of sorry he never went back and did a real 100% genre film now with the ability for effects work to really take a visionary and create a vision from it. And here we go.
Fashion statement of 1974.
Yep, we got the classic picture of Sean Connery. He's got a ponytail, he's got a gun, he's got thigh-high boots, and a red diaper.
I just picture him going, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It'll look cool."
I just don't.
He did his best making it look cool,
but again, picture Burt Reynolds in that outfit, and you're like, "Oh, sure,
yeah, sure."
Yeah.
Now, listen, there's only a handful of people who could pull this off without being, blacklisted from making movies again, and Sean Connery is one of them. I mean, go with the flow.
Now, to be fair, I find this. This is just terrible to me, but I do like the fact that the executors all wear the Zardoz masks.
Yeah,
I do like that touch. So again, it's that thing where it's like, this is ridiculous, but this part of it is cool.
I like the idea of here a religion based on an actual thing. Why wouldn't they think this was a god? I mean, what does it take to be a god? You're a giant floating head. That's like beyond anything they can do.
Throw stuff out your mouth.
It produces what they need, bullets and guns. It gives them pithy little sayings and says, "Thus speaks Zardoz." Then he floats off to other adventures. It's like, obviously he's a god.
I had no idea what was going on at the beginning, because at one point the head Zardoz floats down and the voice comes out and tells them, let there be guns, or you shall have the gun, or whatever it is, and then just pukes out
all these guns,
loads of guns and ammunition all over the place. And then you see them killing a bunch of people, but then they're also forcing some people to be farmers. And then I totally didn't get what was going on when he hid in the stone thing, that he hid in that grain. I missed a second there or something. I don't know.
Well, it's not explained until
until
later.
later.
Right. Then we find out.
You're like, wait, I didn't see.
Why did he come up?
Why did he sneak on into the mouth of the Zardoz? It's made that. Yeah.
And that was actually kind of cool that he was betrayed by his god. Had always been a god of death, who explained very clearly, penis is bad, guns are good, people are overpopulating, you got to cull the herd. And you're like, okay, yeah, who am I going to argue with God? And then all of a sudden, God switches gears, and you're a farmer, and you're like, what? Wait a minute, what happened here? And which also points out the thing about the immortals. They're not even particularly good at being immortal. They got to have the brutals growing their food for them. Apparently, they're little plastic bubbles for corn, or that green goop or whatever they were making isn't really effective. They have all the knowledge in the world, and they still have to resort to slavery.
They left it all to Zardoz.
Yeah, all those
whatever. We don't know we don't know how he's doing it.
I swear, all those weird baguettes looked like king cakes from Mardi Gras.
They were green.
They were green, and they were just sort of. Here's the other thing. A great thing is that he, Arthur Frayn, Zardoz, puts him on the path. This is all this elaborate thing that he's done to try to, end the vortexes. And this is it's just one of those howlers where you're just like, oh, he lured him into this building full of books, and he was taught to read. It's like, wait, what? He's being shown a book of A's for Apple, and the next thing you know, I read all these books, and all I could think of was the scene in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, where the creature, is met by, is picked up by the traveling carnival and is taught to read using Milton's Paradise Lost.
Sure.
And this is the explanation why the creature has this great rolling diction throughout the rest of the novel. It's just always like, wait, what? What do you mean he just learned to read? It's because the guy 2 minutes ago he was shooting everybody and loving it, and now he's he's reading all these books. It's just one of those things where it's like you could just sit here, but you sense Boorman going, "Yeah, we just got to get through to the next thing.
Right.
I got to get through to the next."
Yeah. Didn't Tarzan teach himself English just by like finding books in a crashed airplane or something? It's like not how it works.
No,
but okay. Now, in fairness, Sean Connery here was like the product of selective breeding. So
yes, yeah. I mean, maybe that was the point. It was like, oh, he was able to read.
Well, Zed, not Sean Connery, but Zed.
Zed.
Sean Connery maybe as well. So who knows?
Well.
I do like how Zed, Sean Connery's character, is first introduced. He walks into Frayn from behind us, right, and then turns around and you see it's him. I really liked how they did that. I thought that was. And then, of course, his exit from the grain, right, because he's hiding under all the wheat and grain. Yeah. And the gun comes up first, right, and then he follows up. I thought that was great. Shades of Excalibur, right?
Yeah.
But it was, so some of the, there's, I guess the point is that throughout the film, there are these little nuggets of really interesting concepts and shots and bringing people, and design but as a whole, it just, I don't know, the pieces just don't all fit.
Yeah.
It's a bad movie made by a really talented, good director.
Yeah.
And that's all you're always.
That's a rare thing.
That you're always going to have those kinds of things where you're just like, okay, this isn't working, but that shot was amazing, or that sequence was really,
Yeah, because the floating head flying around is just like you could.
Oh yeah.
Like, more of that. That was really awesome.
It's also maybe an example. If you read like the history of Pixar, every Pixar movie that has ever come out, when you look at how it was made and everything, until they started just doing sequels, it's like it was not at all what we got. The original conception was totally different. They throw out massive amounts of stuff. They re-edit it. Somebody comes in and rescues the project. And you're looking at this like, oh my God, Toy Story would have been horrible if you'd gone with the original idea. And somehow it all comes together. They just get lucky and they put it all together. It's like, well, sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes it just keeps going in the wrong direction and you're not able to pull it out at the last minute, and boom.
This was Boorman was desperately in need of a sounding board, another human being to kind of keep him in check, and I don't think that was in place. Everybody kind of like, let's go do something.
It would have been cool if they had hired one of the many not terribly well paid but really good science fiction writers of the time. Said, here's my concept, here's an idea, and they're like, give me some time and let me see if I can put this together into a cohesive story structure.
Cries out for a co-writer.
Yeah. Take a second pass at the script. Even just take what he had and shape it. Or even just I don't know. I'm sure the editor did a lot to save this film.
Because I feel like we're supposed to really be fascinated by the question, why did Zed do what he does? And no, I don't really care. And apparently he's the leader of a group of revolutionaries. Those are the ones who come in at the end. But I don't know. They just got lost there. I didn't feel that at all.
No.
Well, there's that moment when it's all, they all have different purposes, but Zardoz, Arthur Frayn has manipulated things so that they're all going to bring about the death.
Right. And that's where you're absolutely right. That we needed more of him.
We needed more of him. Because there's that scene where they all put their hands each other like, oh, revolutionary, and he just goes revenge. He really just, for the most part, throughout most of this, before he really gets into crystals, he just wants revenge. He felt like he had a god, and the god was a lie, and he just wants revenge on that.
Yeah.
So.
And here's some more Sean Connery.
There's another shot that you can imagine.
You can tell a movie Jeff is just not into because Jeff is not talking about any character actors whatsoever.
Here's another shot.
Well, we could talk about Niall Buggy, but we'll get to that.
I mean, this is both ends of the spectrum. We got him almost virtually naked and wearing a wedding dress, looking quite fetching.
But I could see Burt Reynolds in both of this.
He
probably did both scenes in other movies. It's just like Tom Hanks across from, right? So
Burt Reynolds and Wayne would have been highly comic.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the fear. If Burt Reynolds was doing this, I don't think there's any way that he wouldn't be just almost like winking at the camera.
But I like. Okay, so there's the other guy that gets aged. He gets gets punished by aging.
Friend.
Yeah, and I liked that character. I thought the character was fascinating, especially after he aged. He became even more fascinating.
Yeah.
That is John Alderton.
I don't know about the dress though.
He is so bored. He can't wait. Can't wait to die.
Kill me, please. I do feel like they have just dropped the giant Zardoz head on the supercomputer. It just seems like this is a really elaborate thing to take out a machine.
Yeah.
I like that Phil's frozen in a very happy smile.
Oh, did I freeze again? Well,
yeah, you're frozen.
Oh well. There was a minute where you guys all froze, and I'm like, uh-oh, and then you all unfroze. I didn't realize I had switched places with you.
That's what happens. When it looks like everybody's freezing, it's a problem with.
At least I'm not picking my nose or something.
We do have
photos of Charlotte Rampling.
We do.
We'll get to them, but here's some.
Yes, our friend Sean Connery.
Sean Connery did more genre stuff than I remembered. Obviously great in Indiana Jones. Outland, which is a fun sci-fi Western movie. It really is a sci-fi Western, better than most.
Yeah.
Time Bandits.
Classic.
Terry Gilliam, craziness there. Dragonheart, which really it's really better than I think it was given credit for, and he's excellent in it. Highlander, where he's so good in Highlander that even though he is unambiguously killed off in Highlander, spoiler alert, he is equally unambiguously brought back for the horrifying Highlander 2.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then we have a travesty and crime against
everything, against comics, against movies, against
nature.
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the movie that finally ended his career. He decided to quit after that. The story I've heard is that he was offered the role of Morpheus in The Matrix, and he turned it down because he didn't understand it. And he was offered the role of Gandalf in Lord of the Rings, and he turned it down because he didn't really understand it. And then they offered him League of Extraordinary Gentlemen playing Alan Quatermain, and he didn't understand it, but he's like, my God, I'm not going to let another multi-zillion-dollar franchise go by. And he should have passed on that one because they screwed up a sure thing. Oh my God. I was so happy when I heard that movie was being made, and I was so miserable when I went to see it.
First time I remember seeing Sean Connery was in Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
I could have put that in there too. Yeah.
I mean, the one thing that's missing from this, which is what he did right after Zardoz, I think, is The Man Who Would Be King.
Great movie.
Great iconic.
That is a ripping yarn, right?
Meteor.
Meteor, yeah. Well, everyone was in Meteor, right?
Everyone.
A Bridge Too Far, which is not a genre. Well, genre, but not that genre. Robin and Marion. I mean,
they don't make them like Sean Connery anymore.
No.
And of course, he was the best Bond. Yes, I'll die on that hill.
Yeah. All right. Well, somebody mentioned Charlotte Rampling.
Yes.
Love her. By this time, everyone should realize this is my type. She is intelligent looking. I refuse to believe that Charlotte Rampling was not absolutely brilliant, scintillating dinner conversation. That she just really trips my trigger.
Well, she did say she was really looking forward to the love scene with Sean Connery, but was disappointed that it was over so quick.
That's what they all say.
Undoubtedly not Sean's fault. Let's just be clear.
I would agree with that. It sounded funny.
Her character is no great shakes in this, though. She's sort of unpleasant and.
Well, she's the villain until she's not.
Well, until she's not, but they don't really explain why she's not.
No,
she's just. No. Although maybe she saw the writing on
a bigger character for.
But I don't understand. It's like the only thing I could think is she saw the writing. She was smart enough to see the writing on the wall. And it's like, well, it's time to jump ship because this one's sinking.
She's still going strong. I mean, she just did the Dune movies.
Yep, and she's good in it too.
Yep.
And you could tell. Listen, just look at that face there, young
Always.
Charlotte Rampling. She is blessed with the bone structure
Yep.
that is. She's going to be good looking into her 90s
Yep.
or beyond. Ravishing woman.
All kinds of great Charlotte Rampling performances.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I'm not sure this is. I mean, this was good too, but she did a season of Dexter.
She did the one thing that Boorman needed from his leading ladies, which is copious amounts of nudity, and not all of them were on board with that. But she's never been one to shy away from that, and has made some pretty bold choices too. We flip the next one where we have some of the Rampling
more stuff. Yeah, there we
yeah.
go.
Okay, the Night Porter. Oh, let me just say right out front. Not a first date movie, ladies and gentlemen. Put that out of your mind.
It depends on the date.
It depends on the date. I don't know if it goes well. That might be worse. But boy, that a gutsy performance in that one. I forgot she was in Asylum. Everyone forgot she was in Orca the Killer Whale. But Gregory pointed out.
Have any of you seen Orca?
I saw it in the theater. That's how lame I was.
When I was a kid, I have not seen it since.
Well, we need to pick it soon.
We need to pick it. It's what a cast. What a great cast. Even the unknowns, like young Bo Derek is in it. She gets her leg bitten off.
But I think I remember even as a kid thinking like Richard Harris is really overacting in this.
Oh yeah.
As a kid, I had that feeling when I saw Orca in the theater because my only memory of it is like Richard Harris just chewing up scenery throughout the whole movie.
Well,
it was another one of those Dino De Laurentiis miscalculations. It's like,
well, yeah, it was a Jaws knockoff. So.
Yeah. He's like, but Jaws, no, when Jaws died, nobody cried. Jaws, he's just a big dumb fish. But orcas can kill Jaws.
And nobody could take Dino aside and say, "I'm sorry, Mr. William Girdler has already made the best Jaws knockoff, and that would be Grizzly."
Oh, you know what? I forgot she's in Vanishing Point.
Yeah.
Well, it says scenes are deleted, but in the Blu-ray that's out from Europe, those scenes are in there. And it's
you've got her in a movie and you delete the scenes? How dare you?
It was early. It was early in the career.
You know how the U.S. is.
Yeah.
Vanishing Point. There's a.
Oh, nothing happens. It's just Charlotte Rampling nude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
hum.
Close it down too much. All right.
That's
a great movie, by the way. That's a great.
If you do look up the poster for the Night Porter, and the poster is her basically naked with two straps strategically, two suspenders, so that's allowed to be shown. The quote that they have is from Vincent Canby. He hated the movie, absolutely hated the movie, but they managed to take his hateful review and snip out enough stuff to make it look like not just a rave, but a promise of some kinky stuff to come. And he was furious. I remember reading it, at the time, and he was furious. But there you go.
Classic cherry picking.
Yep.
I bet when they wrote that, they were like, "Take this, Vincent Canby." Yeah, a lot of ellipses in there.
Yeah, that was an art form back in the day, to get quotes and everything. And then sometimes they do stuff like, I remember for maybe Trial of Billy Jack or something, they took all the negative reviews and put them on the poster to show this is what the squares think about this movie, but you make up your own mind. Like, oh wow, that's a bold way to do it.
Well, and then there's
Zardoz.
Frayn.
I know you guys wanted more of him in there, but I couldn't take this guy seriously at all.
Not
I just couldn't.
A man who can't twirl his own mustache.
That's why I just wanted. He clearly is so. When you get to meet the other immortals, right? He clearly is so not on board.
Oh yeah,
He's
the immortals.
He's rogue. He's definitely rogue.
I mean, he clearly Arthur Frayn looks like somebody who is enjoying the hell out of all of this. He's enjoying play acting. He's enjoying doing tricks and illusions and manipulating things. It is interesting, though, according to the workflow, I didn't know this, that opening thing where he's like, his head's floating and doing exposition. The studio made or requested Boorman to do that so people wouldn't be completely confused at the beginning. That's terrible.
Yes.
Oh, but the rest of Arthur Frayn, I think, is sort of great.
I knew that had to be forced on them, because there's ways of making a floating head that doesn't look like you just filmed it and you're making the entire frame float around, and they didn't do that. But also, what I like about it, it is terrible, but what I like about it is that it completely fails in its mission of explaining things. It's only more confusing.
Oh my
God.
Yeah.
You're throwing all this stuff at people who have been given nothing other than maybe the poster that got them into the theater to explain what is this guy talking about. It's baffling and then forgotten. But I really do like the drawn on mustache and goatee, because as soon as I saw it, it reminded me of one of my favorite things of the last few decades, which was HBO's Rome, and the character, the young Ptolemy, the young pharaoh of Egypt, Cleopatra's brother, who's like 8 years old, but they draw on the mustache and everything to make him look like a king, and it's like
a symbol of authority. Yeah,
but the lighting is so bad; it makes him look like a baby face. It's so.
This looks like it was filmed under protest, which it probably was. Yeah, it also remember Blade Runner. They insisted we need to have voiceover, so Ridley Scott, goes to, Harrison Ford's like, do it as badly as you can. Just make it bland and boring and no emotion, and they won't use it. And unfortunately, they did.
Although it now has its partisans.
Which movie are you saying?
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah.
This doesn't work at all. It would have been so much more interesting. It would be like the Wizard of Oz starting off with the wizard coming out and saying, "Hey, folks, here's a movie about a girl who goes to a magical place." It's just like, wait, what?
She's looking for the wizard, not knowing the wizard is me. Keep that in mind. It'll come up later.
Yeah.
I did like the last line though about that maybe God's in show business too, which is cute.
Well, Boorman had to do something with that. That's a terrible sort of thing to have to tack on.
Yeah.
Just so.
There's that head. What a great design.
Great design.
Wonderful.
The best design. The head, the floating head's the best design in the entire film.
And we're talking about not the one with the blue scarf, but the
the actual Zardoz. That's fantastic. That's the image that that I remember. That's the image, of course, when you're looking in various like famous monsters of Finland or something. This is what you saw when they covered Zardoz. There was nothing, you didn't see anything but this.
This is kind of the full version.
Yeah,
there you go.
And it works too. Come on, listen. I was raised.
Oh my gosh.
I was raised Catholic, but if a big giant floating head like this came, flouncing down the street there, I'm
start puking rifles out at me.
And ammunition just randomly.
I'm sorry. Any god that claims the penis is evil, I'm out.
I'd be happier if he spit out Blu-rays. But
so we had that was Zardoz. So Zardoz, the minions.
They're pretty cool. I've always liked the way of showing cannibals or whatever warriors where they cover their bodies in ash, because it just gives them that like they're dead, but they're hunting you down.
And it also occurs to me that maybe my objection to this ridiculous outfit does fit in with Arthur Frayn, because where else did they get these outfits unless they've been puked out of the giant head?
One size fits all.
Because everybody else, all of the excess brutals, who these guys are supposed to exterminate, are literally all dressed like it's like I said, like they just come off of a shift in Manchester in 1972.
Yeah. Well, it is one size fits all. You just have to cinch up your bandoleros to pull the
bandoleros,
or tighten a little band around the.
That's one thing. It's
think of all the chafing. So much.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing. It's not explained. What makes the brutals so brutal? They don't look that brutal. They just look like they're living in a. It's not even all that post-apocalyptic. It's.
And then we have this final scene, which created almost a fight, apparently.
Yeah.
What do you mean created a fight? What do you mean?
I think this is the greatest use of montage to show the time passing by that has ever been done, and also
Well-
guarantees no sequel.
Yes, and also the end with the two skeletons holding hands.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which is kind of sweet.
the fight was it had to be done 3 times.
Well, that would get a little
times.
monotonous.
It was. I'm trying to see why the first one crapped out on him, but one of them was because the assistant cameraman opened the film door too soon and exposed the film. That was the second time, and so when they had him come back and do the third time, Connery's like, "You're pranking me, right? You're playing a joke on me." Boorman's like, "No, we actually got to do this." And apparently, he almost came to blows with this assistant cameraman.
I was gonna punch him in the mouth.
Well, because it took an entire day of makeup and then adding camera loader. I'm sorry, the camera loader.
Oh, there's
I'm trying to see.
if the associate producer does it, you just gotta like roll your eyes like,
the negative
okay.
got scratched on the first round.
Oh my gosh.
Also, they raise it. They have a child. They raise him to be a man, and he leaves. And does he ever come back and visit? No.
Apparently not.
No,
Maybe he does. Maybe he does right after the last frame. It's like, "Hey, mom and dad, I know it's been a while." Ooh,
you guys.
ouch. Well, we even like painted a hand waving at you. Hey, hello, your parents. You never call.
I remember when I saw this in the 80s, hitting this ending and thinking, "What the hell is that?"
I loved it.
That was my most vivid memory of Zardoz for a long time. Was just like, "Wait, what? That's the end?"
I loved it because it's a happy ending, and it's the most grim happy ending ever. That this is what
70s. You can't have
we saw what immortality was like, and it was bloody awful. In comparison, living a life, raising a family, growing old together, dying together. Obviously, they probably died within reasonable amount of time, close to each other, or one of them was holding the hand of a skeleton for an appallingly long time. I mean, that's what it's all about, right?
Somewhere Boorman is like, "It's a metaphor. They didn't actually die holding hands."
Well, listen, hey, I'm not going to take that from some guy who did more cocaine than Columbia produced last year.
All right.
It's a great metaphor.
All right, that's the end of the pictures.
All right.
Of our video slideshow.
Jeff seems very happy about that.
There you go. That's our review.
Well, I literally was looking at the other.
We're all gonna let's all hold hands and grow old together.
Yeah.
Out of these actors, I think maybe Neil and I don't know if his name is Budgie or Buggy. Niall, I'm sorry, Niall Buggy was in Alien 3. I don't know. He played a part called Eric, although that doesn't pull something out for me, but he would have been. And he was in Mamma Mia. Anyway, fairly well-known actor, I believe, in the British Isles. Okay.
All right. Well, where can we catch this film? I saw it on Prime, right?
That's amazing.
On Prime.
It's a good copy. Yeah.
It's included free with Prime.
Yeah. So check it out and
check it
let
out.
us know if our what thoughts did we have that weren't.
If you are a fan of at all of 70s science fiction, particularly before Star Wars upends everything, and even after, because there's still, of course, a few things where people did not get the memo that Star Wars. Paging Robert Altman's, quintet.
Oh wow!
If you are at all a fan of 70s science fiction, you should see Zardoz. Yes. Knowing that it's a mess, but it's not boring. I was never bored during this. I had a lot of fun moments, like when he uses his newly found psychic power to like force people back, and it's just reverse film of people jumping down.
Right. No, that was great. That was
jump back. Right. There's a lot of moments. There's like what, but there's a lot of fun 70s science fiction trying to be more profound than is warranted. And I will go so far as to say that a lot of the fun of science fiction sometimes is not when it's, really great, but when it's just its reach exceeds its grasp, and
Yes.
you just have the fun of seeing a lot of ideas bouncing around in certain ways. So
Agreed.
So definitely let us know.
When they were pushing him back out of the way, I thought he was forcing time to go backwards.
Well,
Interesting.
beyond space.
Well, I think he was.
beyond time.
No, I think he was. I think that was the idea because then you
okay,
see all
okay.
the things they smashed, the statues they smashed, and the urns they smashed.
Right. And
We'll
went
come back
backwards,
together.
yeah.
So maybe what? Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Why not?
All right. Well, I can't wait to hear what the listeners think of it in the comments. Speaking of comments, Jeff, do we have comments for tonight?
We do. We've got
All right.
half a dozen feedbacks here.
Nice.
I really blew it. I should have had a comment that when Chad's not here.
True.
Didn't do it right. All right.
Well, first up, we've got a couple here from Robert Baker. Episode 242, A Cold Night's Death. That was the TV movie with Robert Culp and Eli Wallach.
And a couple of
Robert Baker. Gregory, you want to take that one?
Sure. Robert Baker writes, I saw this one a while back and really like it. One thing I can say is that this one is being mentioned more than it used to be, so people seem to be discovering it. And the interest in these old made-for-TV movies seem to be growing as well. I guess some of them are hard to trace down good copies for. Maybe why so many are available online only as recorded from tape versions. A lot seem to have no release on physical media ever. That was true for this, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
Right. I'm not saying there may have been a VHS at some time. I don't know for sure, but
no
there's nothing out there now, not even a DVD.
Yeah. I fear there's probably some stuff that's actually disappeared. In that period after they were shooting on film. So we'll have I Love Lucy's and stuff forever. And before VHS, everyone had one. So somebody made a copy. There's that little time zone that's neither fish nor fowl. And yeah, those things are gone. Damn shame.
So yeah, thanks, Robert. That's an interesting find. We enjoyed the heck out of that one.
Yeah.
Episode 243, the Snake movie, aka Doc. Are you up and running here?
I'm up and running.
Okay, you want to take the Robert Baker?
I do. I'm going to have to get my in shape here. This is not a disappointment. So say the reptilians among us, they find it superior from the 70s. I like this one too. I am sure reptilians would love to hear your take on the 2B miniseries. Probably one of their favorites, I am sure.
I don't think I watched the whole series, but I did watch towards the beginning of it.
V? Oh yeah, it was like when it first came out.
Oh yeah, that was a phenom.
And what was the other one with the? I think Mandy Patinkin was in the movie version of it. He played an
Alien Nation.
Alien Nation. Oh yeah, the one that causes. Yeah. All right, Alienation. And then on from Kathy Chapman, Bill.
Kathy Chapman says, saw this movie as a kid and loved it. I'll never forget the pitiful look on her old boyfriend's face there in the freak tent. Welcome back, Doc. The guest host was good. Wonder who she's talking about. But it was just not the same without you.
No.
Well, that's interesting that the guest host is on here.
Yeah.
With us.
Well, no, I wasn't on S, so she's not talking about me.
Oh. It's an unfair comparison.
Well, I do want to thank all the wonderful guest hosts that came on.
Yeah,
including Gregory, among others.
Gregory did a great job.
Yeah, it was a treat listening to everybody while I was
and still does.
Otherwise,
always
doesn't bother him when I contact him the day before.
Yeah,
I know. What a champ. Like,
all I do is sit around and think about writing poems, so I have lots of time.
So. All right, and also on from James Harris, Are we back around to Gregory?
Sure. James Harris writes, I really enjoyed the video. It was excellent. I was pleasantly surprised that everyone on the panel liked it. I agree with Daphne about some of the snakes being injured or killed. It's always bothered me that a number of directors from back in the day had no problem destroying an animal for their dumb movie. Cannibal Holocaust. The most grievous example would be the tripwires they would employ in old westerns in order to make horses fall, which frequently would result in broken legs for the horses. Pretty shameful. Some of those directors were real ant holes.
Ant holes.
Yeah.
That is such a deep cut. Thank you, James.
Yes.
James is he's a true Grue believer.
Yes, that is a deep cut. Ant holes.
244, Willard from Jose, and we had Doc.
It's me. Jose has this to say about Willard. I haven't seen this one in many years. I first heard about it as a kid from my mother, who really liked it. I have a Laserdisc that is about 127 years old. Let's see if it suffers from disc rot or not. Oh my gosh!
Wow, Willard on Laserdisc.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. Jose is Mr. Video format guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's got lots of Laserdiscs.
I believe it about Jose, but it just amazes me that Willard was released on Laserdisc.
I know, especially.
Okay.
Yeah.
I asked him. I said we wanted to report back on the presence or not of disc rot, and then Ralph Miller, Bill. This was on Facebook.
Yes, our friend Ralph Miller says of Willard. I remember reading a Time magazine article about this film. The filmmakers said when they pitched the film, one of the studio executives told them, "You guys are nuts." They got the last laugh. Willard was a big hit at the theaters.
Wow.
Take that, suit.
The great Ralph Miller.
One of the studio executives.
Yes.
Probably not an executive at the studio that produced it.
Then he went to work for M&M. He went to work for the M&M factory, and then when Steven Spielberg came to him with E.T., he's like, "No, you can't use M&Ms in your movie."
My Reese's Pieces are still around.
Wow.
All righty. Appreciate it, Ralph, Jose, James Harris, Kathy Chapman, and Robert Baker. Thank you so much. We love your comments. So the rest of y'all, give us a short comment. Doesn't have to be long. Just let us know what you thought of the movie or the podcast or any trivia we may have missed, something you enjoyed or not. So you can make comments on the Gruesome Magazine YouTube channel, or you could send emails to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Yes, like and subscribe. And we have a Patreon group. If for a few dollars a month, you will get Decades of Horror the day after, once in a while, 2 days after we record it, depending on life. But normally, when we're recording on schedule, for example, this episode is being recorded on schedule. It will probably go to Patreon members tomorrow, but it will not go live for 2 weeks. So
I'm a Patreon subscriber, and it hasn't harmed me at all.
Hasn't harmed you at all. And we did a 20 episode podcast on Kolchak.
Kolchak, the Night Stalker, who also wore a pretty cool hat.
Oh, very good. Yes. If I ever make it to one of these Dragon Cons or something, I have to cosplay Carl Kolchak. I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's going to be my go-to because I actually own a seersucker suit. So
Do you really? Nice.
Yeah.
You got all the bits, all the pieces.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a nice fedora and go as Mr. Johnson from Not of This Earth if I ever.
There you go.
They'll probably think I'm Men in Black or a Blues Brothers.
Yeah, but Jeff, how are you going to make your eyes that weird milky color? You don't want to fall prey to the Christopher Lee curse.
I'll get somebody to 3D print me some eyes and then
There you go.
switch them out while I'm at the
Irritating contact lenses. You don't want that.
Yeah. All right.
So Jeff, what is our next episode? I think.
I picked this one, and Gregory had some input on this because I was going to pick this a couple of months ago, and he said, "Please don't do any cannibal movies while I'm on." So
that's not you guys already. The one cannibal movie I like is not even part of the cannibal genre, and you guys did it on 80s. So
Which one was that?
It was Parents.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
That weird dark
You know-
comedy with Randy Quaid and Mary Beth Hurt,
Yep.
which you already did it.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in any other cannibal movies. It's just not my bag, baby.
Yeah,
Doesn't
this one would not be in your bag. I just watched it today, and
Well, we've done 2 on 80s, the 2 big
Yeah.
ones, I would guess.
this is the mildest of the 3.
Not to mention Zombie 3, which just doesn't really feel like that much of a.
Mm.
Anyway,
So
this
what
one
is
is Slave of the Cannibal God, also known as Mountain of the Cannibal God.
Choose your
Directed by
fighting.
Sergio
Yeah.
Martino, starring Ursula Andress and Stacy
Stacey
Keach
Keach.
as the American stars and Claudio Casanelli as the Italian. So it is currently on Wicked Horror TV, the classic horror movie channel, Tubi, and Pluto TV. And believe it or not, there is a
Nickelodeon.
4K Ultra HD
Of course there is.
And
out
Jeff
there from,
pulls it out from his library.
I think it's from
Yeah.
Severed. Well, it's out by the TV right now.
Oh, nice.
Of course.
Oh my God, he actually
Well,
does.
Andrews, I mean, geez.
I have to say, I just always have to picture like the postman or the Amazon driver or the UPS
Right.
guy just walking up to Jeff's house there in Iowa with a big old armload of more Blu-rays
I saw.
with very strange labels on them from what's a vinegar syndrome? I don't understand.
Yeah, well, luckily they don't see the labels. They're inside the brown thing. But the guy yesterday was hilarious. He had like one of those kind of floppy fishing hats on. And he was like Mr. Cool. He walks up there and lays it on their thing. And then as he's walking away, he shoots a picture of it. You know, they take a picture of it on
Yeah.
your porch.
He just
The man's professional.
He was just too cool for school. But anyway, that's what we're doing next. And it's interesting to me what shows and you can't tell for about 6 months which shows really prompt a lot of viewership.
Mhm.
Parents was one of them. That's
Yeah.
way above average in the viewership.
Nice.
Cannibal Ferox and Cannibal Holocaust were 2 that were way above. I'm trying to think of what else. Some of the classic ones. The White Reindeer was very good, as was Lake of the Dead.
And you know what? And for the cannibal movies, it's like, oh, good, I don't have to watch this because the Grue Crew has now led.
Well, that could be.
No, that's how I enjoyed those episodes. But those other films that have a high thing, there's like, those are films that the crew either really liked or were just really obscure. It's like with the Cold Night's Death. It's like I'd never heard of that until we did the episode about it, and it was great. That would talk about a great slice of 70s TV horror, and I had never in a million years heard of it. So
well, I think I
episodes of things that I've never heard of this.
Yeah, I sort of assume that people that things like the White Reindeer or Cold Night's Death or even Angel is above average in the 80s.
Mhm.
That the people that are interested in that, it takes a while for a few people to stumble across it, and then I kind of assume they're sharing it in a group where people are into that. That's the only thing I can figure out, because you'll go for 2 or 3 months and go like, well, that died, and then 3 months later.
The more episodes you have with devastatingly handsome guest hosts on, probably the higher viewing rate.
It does not. I tried that on the tags.
Yeah.
Devastatingly handsome host. It didn't get a good score. So.
Oh well.
All right. Well, this might be a little more behind the scenes than people want to know.
Time to wrap it up.
My gosh. But anyway, thank you all for joining us. This was a wonderful time. And
Yeah.
thanks for the last minute step up.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Doc. I'm glad you're back.
Yep.
With your hat.
Chad couldn't make it. So thank you.
Yeah, Chad will be back.
Chad will be back.
Chad will return.
And you brought some amazing stuff along with you. So thank you very much for hanging out with us.
Of course.
Yeah.
And of course, Jeff and Bill, as always.
I'm waving, but you can't tell.
Yes.
They usually just smiling.
Frozen Mulligan.
You're just smiling and happy as can be. It's awesome. All right, with that, let's say goodnight.
He could be asleep for all we know.
Good night, everybody.
Say good night.
Night.
Bye.